Hey guys, Adrienne here, PhD exercise physiologist, and today I want to talk about what to do if you hit a plateau. And for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to be talking about if you hit a weight loss plateau, but this can apply no matter what your goal is. So if you're trying to get a heavier lift in the gym or you're trying to improve your running, whatever you're doing, if you hit a plateau and feel frustrated, here's the steps to take. Okay, first step. Sounds counterintuitive, but you want to make sure you're actually on a plateau. A lot of times we'll say we are on a plateau because for the past 4 weeks we haven't lost any weight. The problem with this is you're using one way of measuring progress instead of a variety of ways. So let's say for the past 4 weeks you haven't lost any weight. Instead of saying you're on a plateau, make sure you're making zero progress. So check your inches, take progress photos. Check your body composition and see if your body fat percentage has gone down. You can be making progress without the scale moving, even when your goal is fat or weight loss. Okay? So, step one is always to make sure you're actually making zero progress because 9 times out of 10, you're still making progress, even though you're not seeing one measure of progress change. Okay, so step two. Step two, if all of those measurements are not changing, you want to look back over the past 4 weeks and assess the plan. Have you been working the plan that you decided to do? So I'm a big fan of choosing a plan and sticking to it. So choosing a workout program, being consistent with it. Choosing a way of eating or building a lifestyle of your own and sticking with it. Not program hopping or being inconsistent. Consistently implementing a mediocre program far outweighs inconsistently being perfect. So make sure you're being consistent. A lot of times when we're not seeing results, if we actually look back over time, we haven't been consistent with the program we have in place. So our first inclination when we hit this plateau, so to speak, if we truly are making zero progress, our first inclination is that we need to change something. When in reality, we haven't been doing what we say we've been doing anyway. So have a real conversation with yourself. This is where tracking can be really helpful. And I don't mean counting calories necessarily or doing any of this kind of stuff, but mark down on the calendar which days of the week you worked out. How many steps did you get in each day? How is your nutrition going? Is it in line with your goals or is it not? Journaling your foods can be really helpful. Just bringing awareness to what you're doing is going to make you see if you've actually been working a plan or if you've kind of not really been doing anything and that's why you're not getting results. Okay, make sure you're on a plateau. If you're truly, truly, truly in a plateau, which is very few of you, then make sure that you are implementing the plan that you think and that's science-based and that you want to pursue to reach your goal. Step three is to analyze your plan and start being super consistent. So even if you think you've been consistent, the next step, even if you're getting zero results, you think you've been consistent, is to be very consistent for the next 4 weeks. I always say give it 4 weeks of being super consistent, super on plan, and see if you don't make any progress. If you're not making any progress, start jotting down everything so that we can start to see where you're not doing what you think you're doing. It's not like we're trying to lie to ourselves, but as humans, we just have horrible recall. This is why a lot of nutrition studies are really poorly done because it's based on recall, and we're just horrible at it. And so make sure that you're jotting down what you're doing. That can keep you accountable. And work the plan. Be consistent. Keep going. Only after 4 weeks of intense, dialed in consistency would I recommend changing anything. So this is not the time to program hop. It's going to be really, let's say you have cut some calories and you're in a caloric deficit and you're not seeing any results. You're like, oh, I've got to cut calories even further. It's not the time to do that. The time is to be consistent and keep going. It's very natural for your body to lose weight in a stepwise manner. So you'll get a nice drop, maybe a consistent downslope, and then you'll kind of get this plateau for a little while, and then you'll get another drop. It's because our body physiologically wants to hold on to weight, and so it's adapting. It's going through this process of adaptation, and we need to give it time to do that. If we want it to keep adapting, we have to keep sending the same signal. So being consistent, even through these times where we feel like we're plateaued, is really, really important. keep going. That's what you do when you hit a plateau. You keep going, you keep being consistent, you keep working the diet and fitness routine. Last thing, if after 4 weeks you have had zero progress in any of the markers of progress, so inches, progress photos, you don't see any changes, your clothes aren't fitting any better, you don't feel more energized, your weight hasn't gone down, your body fat percentage hasn't gone down, if all of these are 100% unchanged after 4 weeks of dialed in consistency, then you can pick one thing that you can change and alter for this coming week. It's really important to only implement one change so that when you see the results you got, you know those results were because of that one change. This is something that I take from my research background. When you're doing an experiment in a science lab, every time you optimize a protocol, you can only change one thing every time you do it. Because if you changed 3 things and you had success, you wouldn't know which of those 3 things actually produced the results you want. So you choose one thing, one small thing to tweak. Maybe it's getting 1,000 more steps a day, and that's it. Maybe it's drinking an extra 8 ounces of water a day. That's it. You're only tweaking one thing at a time. See what it does for your results that week, and then you can go from there. But here's the deal, you're probably not in a plateau. The first thing you do is make sure you're not making any progress. Be consistent in your plan. Don't program hop. This is not the time to do that. All right, if y'all have questions or thoughts, comment on here. I love to talk about this kind of stuff, so let me know what you think.